Want to figure out just how separated your abdominal muscles are? I'm Julie Tupler, creator of the research and evidence-based Tupler Technique program that brings your diastasis recti, or separated muscles, back together. I am updating my previous video on how to check yourself for a diastasis because I have discovered a much more accurate way of doing it. Remember, though, checking yourself for a diastasis is not an exact science. The point of checking yourself is to have an idea just how big it is, and then when you check it again in weeks 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and beyond, you can feel that you're making progress and that it's getting smaller. Remember, it will get smaller in week 18. My statistics show that in 6 weeks, you can make your diastasis 55% smaller. Of course, you have to be doing all 4 steps of the program. So I promise you that in week 18, the program, you will be very happy as your belly will look so much better. However, it still may not be closed in week 18. If you have a large diastasis, it will take you longer. Besides measuring your diastasis size, you can also check your progress by taking your body circumference measurements in 3 places: under your breasts, at your waist, and over your belly button. When doing my program, your body circumference will get less as your diastasis gets smaller, and you will also get a waist. It is most important to take your before belly photos, as those will motivate you the most. Best thing I've ever done with my clients. When you are checking yourself for a diastasis, you are checking for 2 things. The first thing is you're checking the distance between your separated muscles. How many fingers can you fit between your separated muscles? The second is the condition of the connective tissue between your separated muscles. How far down does your finger go in your connective tissue? The deeper it goes, the weaker your connective tissue, and the longer it will take to heal. In my last video for checking for diastasis, I had you relax your abdominal muscles and then bring your head up. When you do this, your abdominal muscles come close together. Okay? The higher you lift your head, the closer they come. So when you lift your head to measure, you are actually checking it at its smallest instead of at its largest. So in order to measure it at its largest, I am not having you lift your head anymore. Basically, what you will be doing in a back-lying position on the floor or on a couch with your knees bent is, again, starting with your abdominal muscles relaxed so that the separation is starting at its largest. Putting all 10 fingers in your belly, I have you then tighten your abdominal muscles or bring your belly to your inner spine. When you tighten your abdominal muscles, they move closer together. Then when you relax them, they move further apart. So you want to do this a few times. Tighten and relax and tighten and relax until you feel the movement of the muscles. And then while you're relaxing them, you want to follow the ridges of those muscles out just to see how far apart they go when you relax them. This way, you are checking it at its largest and will get a more accurate reading of the distance between your separated muscles. Before you check, though, it's important to determine how severe your diastasis is, because if it's really large, more than 10 fingers, you will check it differently. If you have an umbilical hernia or an outie belly button or a doming of your abdominal muscles when you lift your head, these 2 things are a sign of severe diastasis. The doming sort of looks like a half football bulge. An umbilical hernia or outie belly button is a side effect of a diastasis. If it is severe, you will check it one side and then the other side and then add up the total to get the distance of the separation. That is why I invented my diastometer for severe diastasis, so I could measure both sides in centimeters. If you don't have a doming or an umbilical hernia, you will just put all 10 fingers in your belly button to check. You can always take your fingers out if it's smaller. When checking this way, if you have to spread your fingers to feel the ridges of the muscles, then you know you have a large diastasis, and you're going to have to check it the way I mentioned earlier. You're going to have to check each side at a time and then add up the two distances to get the total. We're going to measure the condition and the distance in 3 places: at your belly button, above your belly button, halfway between the belly button and the sternum, and below your belly button, halfway between the belly button and the pubic bone. I measure the condition with this finger cut, which comes with the diastometer measuring belt. It has centimeters on one side and shallow, medium, and deep on the other side. You can also just use your finger to check. Remember, again, the deeper your finger goes down, the weaker your connective tissue. When you are measuring the condition of your connective tissue, you again relax the abdominal muscles, and then you put your finger or your finger with the finger cut in those 3 places that I just mentioned. To measure the depth, when you put it on, when you either put your finger or the finger cut, what you're doing is remember to have the skin go up against the diastometer of your finger. Okay? So remember to record all your measurements in your guidebook. And I'm now going to show you how to measure with the diastometer and the finger cut. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate how to put the diastometer on and check yourself both with and without it, and also the finger cut with and without it. So I'm wanting to put the diastometer on in either a seated or standing position. And on here you will see that there's a little red dot, and it says belly button, and then the numbers on each side in centimeters. So if I'm checking it myself, I'm going to be wanting that word to be facing me and the numbers to be facing me so I can read it. If somebody else is checking, then it's going to be facing them. So I'm going to put it right on my skin. I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to put this on. It velcros in the back like that, and I'm going to make sure that it's right on the belly button. Is little red circle belly button is right on my belly button. And then when I get down, it may move, so I'm going to check it again so it's right there. Okay, I'm going to take my little finger cut with me, and this measures the condition of the connective tissue. There's little numbers in centimeters, and also shallow, medium, and deep. I'm going to put that right here so I have it. And I'm going to get down correctly to make sure that I don't make my diastasis bigger. So I'm going to hold my belly button all the way back to my spine. So when I say engage or tighten, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do that. And from a sideline position, I'm going to bring myself down using my hands. And once my head touches, then I'm going to roll on my back. Once my head touches, I roll on the back. And I'm going to make sure that this is right on my belly button. And I'm going to get my finger cuff here, right here. Okay, so everything's ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check myself for the diastasis using my fingers. Now, if I've checked myself and I have a doming of the abdominals, when I come up, bring my head and shoulders up, I see a doming, or I have an outie belly button, then I know to either use my both 10 fingers on each side of the belly button, or use the diastometer on each side of the belly button, using this little gray slider to feel the ridge of the muscle. If I don't have that, then I'll start with checking with 10 fingers. I can always take fingers out if it's smaller, and I'm going to start with right at my belly button here. I'm going to put all 10 fingers in, and then I'm going to relax the abdominals and then tighten, and you'll feel them coming together, and then relax and then tighten. I do not lift the head anymore, because when I lift the head, the muscles come very close together, and then you're checking it at its smallest instead of at its largest. So we're going to close our eyes, relax the muscle, and then engage, and you should feel them coming together, and relax and engage. And I want you to do this several times so that you feel the movement of the muscles. If you don't feel with your pinkies the muscles on each side, and you have to spread your fingers to do that, then you know then you're going to have to check on each side of the belly button, either with just your fingers or with the diastometer. Okay? So that's how we do it. So if I go here and I feel the ridges right here, then I know it's 8 fingers. Now, if I wanted to put my 8 fingers on the diastometer belt, I could measure it then in centimeters. But I know I have 8 fingers, okay, at my belly button. And then I go above my belly button, and remember the fingers are pointing down. I relax the abdominals and tighten, relax and engage, relax and engage, okay? And wherever it is that you feel, you can take fingers up, as I said, like you could, like here. So this would be 6 fingers here, okay? So you could do that with your fingers. If you wanted to just do your fingers this way, put 8 fingers in and not use your thumbs, if that's easier for you, you can do that as well. So you check at the belly button, and then you can, if you're checking with the diastometer, you would move it up or down. So we check halfway between the sternum and the belly button, above the belly button, right over here. Make sure it's on the belly button here. All right. Same thing, relax and tighten, and feel wherever you feel with either the pinky fingers, or you can do the next finger in, that finger, or the next finger in, okay? You can always take fingers out, but you want to start with more fingers in and then take them out. And then we measure below the belly button, halfway between the pubic bone and the belly button, the same way, okay? Now I'm going to check the condition of the connective tissue. Now, when we're checking the condition of the connective tissue, we can check with the finger cut, or we can just check with our finger. If we're checking with the finger cut, we're going to see a number here. And then the more we do the program, the number should get less, because we want the connective tissue to be stronger and shallower. All right? If you're checking with just your finger, you could take a pen and mark it, and then take a picture with your phone, so that the next time you check, you see that the marking has gone down and the connective tissue is getting shallower. All right, so those are the 2 ways. So when we're checking, I can put the finger cut on here, and I'm going to have it with the numbers facing me. I'll check above, halfway between the belly button and the sternum, and I just relax the muscles, and then I put the skin next to the finger cut, and then I look here and I say, and I see that it's less than 1, so it's very shallow here. I do the same thing at my belly button, And with the belly button, it's going to be a little bit deeper. Okay, so I relax the muscles and I move the skin towards the finger cut, and then I look and I go, okay, that's 1.5 there. Okay, and then I'm going to go halfway between the pubic bone and the belly button, put it here, and I'm going to put the skin next to there, and I'm going to look and I'm going to say, all right, that one's 1. Okay, and I'm going to record these numbers of my separation, the distance, and the condition of the connective tissue in my guidebook so that I remember them and can see that the program is working and the numbers are getting smaller. All right, so the finger cut, it's done the same way, either with the finger or without the finger cut. Now, if I know I have a huge diastasis, I have the doming, or when I was checking I had to spread my fingers, or if I have an umbilical hernia, then I'm going to check each side separately, each side of the belly button, either with the diastometer or just with my fingers. So with just my fingers, I'm going to go on this side here, and I'm going to, and in this way I'm just going to do, I'm not going to use my thumb here. I'm just going to put my hands together like this on the side of the belly button. I'm going to go in and relax and tighten, engage and relax. And with each time you do this, you can go a little bit deeper so that you'll feel the muscle moving towards the middle. So I'm going to relax and tighten, and then when you relax, you want to follow it out so that you see how it is, how big it is at its largest. So I'm thinking, all right, I feel it with my pinky here, so I know that I had to take one out. It's 6 fingers, okay? If I'm using the diastometer, I would relax. I'm going to make sure it's on my belly button there, that I relax and tighten and relax and tighten. Okay, so I feel it right here. So I take the hand closest to the belly button and I move the gray slider to the finger that feels it, which is my pinky finger. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to relax and tighten, relax and tighten, so I can either use my fingers or I can use the diastometer wherever I feel it. Right? I'm going to take the hand closest in and move the gray slider in there. And then I would look up and I would say, all right, it's on 7 on this side and 6 on this side, so I know it's 13 centimeters wide. All right, so this is how you check with the diastometer and without the diastometer. Now, getting up is very important. We don't want to come straight up like this. That's a jackknife, and that will do terrible things to your diastasis. So please don't do that. Bring your belly button to the inner spine, hold it there without lifting the head, roll to the side, and use your arms to get you up to a seated position. And that is how you check for the diastasis, for the distance and the condition of the connective tissue. I hope this was helpful.